We were in the studio rehearsing, and there was a tea lady who used to bring the tea trolley round. And we would go and buy a cup of tea or a bun or something like that. And I remember she suddenly started shouting at me. It was wonderful. She'd obviously been watching it out of the corner of her eye every time she came in the studio. And she said, "I've never seen such rubbish in my life. I don't know what you're doing this rubbish for. It's a disgrace." Push the trolley off. You know, I want to see the show again.
Because there are, I mean, I think we can safely assume most people in the room big fans. Your average random person is a massive fan of Monty Python. But there are individual sketches that are off the chart popular. When you're making the ones that turn out 20 years later to be the absolute classics, when you're making, you know, Four Yorkshiremen or Dead Parrot, are you halfway through realising this is going to redefine 20th century comedy, or is it totally hit and miss as to what people, the public grab?
You have no idea what people are going to glom onto. You really don't. When the first time we did the Dead Parrot, it got a reasonable reception.
Wasn't it originally written?
But let me tell you, it's reasonable. You know, it wasn't bad, no one was embarrassed, but nobody went on about what a wonderful sketch. It wasn't until we started to do it on stage, in the stage show, that suddenly something happened. And that was true of the Silly Walks, which had not particularly well received the first time I did it. And one or two sketches that I thought were really, really funny weren't received particularly well. And some, you just can't tell. You never know till you've played it in front of an audience how it's going to work.
Is it true that the Dead Parrot was originally, people argued that was about a broken toaster or a car?
It was a car.
And Graham Chapman said, let's make it. Well, you said, let's make it a parrot, and that's what...
Yeah, Graham and I had written a thing about a second-hand car, because there was a second-hand car salesman that Michael Palin had dealings with. And when Michael would take the car in, because he bought the car and it didn't work very well, the guy would say, "Oh, you know, it's a sticky gearbox, it's a high quality." And Michael, as such a peaceable guy, would go away and come back a bit later and say, "Well, it's still sticky." He said, "Oh, it'll be sticky the first 5,000 After that, it's smooth as silk. You know, so you have any trouble with it, you bring it in. Michael said, "Well, I am having trouble." I have brought it in. The guy said, "Yeah, well, if you have any trouble, bring it in." But he was slippery like that. And we wrote this about a car, and then we realised it was very cliched as a car. And then we got the idea that it should be an animal, and we had a couple of hours deciding whether it should be a dog or a parrot. And I think we just decided people like dogs on the whole. Most people hate parrots.
And I think it was Graham who said Norwegian blue. And that just takes it to a realm of silliness where
Well, I don't know who said that, Norwegian blue. Somebody said that Graham had said it. But when we write something together, I can never remember afterwards who said what.